Let's get ready to rumble! What a performance that was!
Wonderful viewers out there. It's time for Sportsville. My name is George Alua. We are set to roll again, and as usual, is a bumper package, I must tell you. And my colleagues are in house. Tony Wokoma Obani is here, and Oluchi Tobes Tobechukwu, baby of the house, is equally in the studio. Together, we are set to roll. Today, we'll be taking a look at moves by some private club owners to float their own league outside the Nigerian Professional Football League. How is that going to pan out? Is this something that an option that we should be looking at to take Nigerian football to the next level? Take a look at that on the show today. And as usual, I must tell you that you have been bombarding us with your text messages and all that. So we'll still go to Fan Zone, bring some text messages that you've sent to us and all that. But as we do on the show, let's start with top news. When we come back, then I'll introduce my guest. Don't go away. It is Sportsville. All right, welcome back. If you just joined us, you've not really missed much. Let me say kudos to my producer, Tayo Ogunshede, for those shots of the week. On that note, let me introduce baby of the house, Oluchi Tobes Tobechukwu. Oluchi, you're welcome to Sportsville.
Thank you so much, George. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
Pleasure to be here. And if you see the way this lady is smiling, so many text messages coming from our fans that what is making her looking so sweet. Oluchi, what is the magic?
Maybe you have the answer. I don't know. It's good to be alive, you know. You owe the key to your happiness. So no matter the challenges you have as individuals, just make sure that you just send some to God and try as much as possible to be positive.
Okay, try as much as possible to be positive. Maybe Tony, the grandmaster himself, will have an answer to why Oluchi is so sweet. Tony, you welcome to Sportsville.
Why would I really want to know why she's happy? Don't put me in trouble. She's a happily married woman. Oluchi has always been happy. Ever since I met her, she has always been a jolly good fellow. And indeed, George, on this program, I think we are all very jolly good fellows, including you, you know, and of course the producer that nobody sees, and including the other cameramen. Everybody, this is a fun house for us. And of course, when we come here, George, we talk sports in a way that people understand. And of course, people see that we're very passionate about this. And we dissect things as it is, George.
Okay, we'll dissect things as it is, and I must tell you that let me let this out of the bag that Oluchi is still basking in the euphoria of her birthday. It was celebrated last week. She said, please don't mention it on camera, but that is one of the reasons why she is basking in the euphoria, and she has promised that after this show, we'll maintain social distancing, but we'll pop champagne. Don't forget that the pandemic is still with us. So stay safe. Make sure that you put on your face masks in line with government directive and that of the health authorities. And always go out with your hand sanitizers. Well, let's go straight to top news now and start with what the sports minister is doing to bring back the glory of the national stadium. The sports minister, Sunday Dare, on the move again. He has set up a task force, special task force that will ensure that the lost glory of the national stadium comes back. This time he said he wants to ensure that that task force takes an audit of what is happening at the National Stadium before eventually bringing it back to what it used to be in the yesteryears. Sports Minister said, we just can't continue with the National Stadium the way it is. Plans have reached advanced stage to ensure that the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja bounces back, and that of Kaduna, and this time the task force will take a look at the National Stadium in Lagos. That's how we start top news. Tony, the task force headed by the permanent secretary.
Yeah, Judge, indeed, I must say the very, very big congratulations to the Honorable Minister Sunday Dare yet again, George. I think I'm beginning to sound like a broken,
yeah, when the man is doing well.
Absolutely. So. I was just going to say that, it's as if every day you come here, you begin to praise or sing songs of praises to Sunday Dare, the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports. But, George, indeed, the man has always been touching the key areas. And, of course, there is no how anybody can run away, from saying, yes, you have done well, and perhaps you have not done well. And if I've seen where he has not done well, as it is here, George will say it. But I must tell you that from the innermost of my heart, George, I'm overjoyed when I heard that the minister has now focused on the National Stadium, the sports city, the National Sports Stadium that all of us used to know, George, right from secondary school days, when we come all the way from the east, just hang on buses to join Rangers International to come to the National Stadium. That citadel has become a ghost house, George, now. It's a place for entertainment. It's a place where people go and eat and drink, point at fishes, and then they kill them, slaughter goats, and that's exactly what it is. But I think the Honorable Minister has remembered. He said the lost glory of the National Stadium, must be revived. And while speaking with his media head today, John Joshua Akonji told me that, honestly, when he came up with the minister, they were talking about the National Stadium, that tears were streaming down from his eyes because of the passion the minister used in saying that his own memory of remembering the National Stadium was something of national pride. And of course, George, if you look at all the ex-internationals, you look at even all the upcoming people, Rangers, IICC, stationery stores, Bendel Insurance, Leventis United, George, I think it holds a very, very touching memory for me. And then, George, I do not know, as a journalist, any other stadium that could just rival National Stadium. Because that is a place, George, where you see fans that will criticize you and bring out the best. If you are a coach, even as a player, if you play at the National Stadium and fans hail you, George, you are going places. And if you are a coach and you survive the criticisms of the fans at the National Stadium, George, you will definitely take your team to a glory land. That's how National Stadium, that's exactly the type of memory National Stadium holds for me.
Exactly. And talking about what the sports minister said, I think my producer can give it to you. They said the National Stadium Lagos holds a lot of fond memories for our sportsmen and citizens at large. We shall no longer allow our infrastructures to lie waste. The Moshood Abiola Stadium, Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Awolowo National Stadium in Ibadan shall all be put to best use. Abuja and Kaduna are at advanced stage. Lagos has approved for concession. Before the process is complete, we need to restore sanity to the place.
George, I think the sport minister, he has proved to many that he means business. A lot of ministers before him, they've had a tour of the National Stadium.
And it ended there.
And this is the first time we are going beyond just, the tours. And like Tony had said, we need to do verification of most of the people that are domiciled in the National Stadium, where churches use it as concerts, retreats, musical shows, not to talk of sports for entertainment. You begin to wonder if this is actually a market or a shopping complex, or where people are supposed to play football and other sports. So with this, then we will now be able to know the next step in claiming ownership of this stadium by the private sector. Like we've always said, apart from our facilities, even our football clubs, there is nothing like inviting the private sector to come in, because it is only through the private sector we can all see the benefits of what sports is all about.
Okay, we'll just hope that the glory of the National Stadium will come back. We'll say kudos to the sports minister for the proactive steps he's taking to ensure that the glory of the National Stadium is restored. And still talking about facilities, this time we'll talk about cricket. The Nigerian Cricket Federation has begun construction of the second wicket turf at the Abuja National Stadium. So that's another good one coming. from cricket. The construction of the second pitch is geared towards upgrading the standard of facilities in the country, which will also increase the level of the game across all age groups and categories. We need to really focus on cricket too, because Nigeria is a cricket nation, and thank God that Nigerian Cricket Federation is already thinking of getting another pitch in Abuja. Oluchi.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Apart from a national stadium that we all know that embraces, if not all the sports at one sitting, the Abuja Stadium too is another one. When you go to Package B, you see a whole lot of facilities for other sports there. Unfortunately, the people in Abuja, they don't really have time for sports like Lagosians. But I think it's a good one for the Cricket Federation, to have it in mind to build one for them there in FCT. It is all for Nigerians. The national team, club size, and every other person, they can make use of the facility down there in the FCT.
Okay, and while they are doing that, I must tell you that even at the religious level, Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, has equally teamed up with some sports stars to fight coronavirus. He is auctioning a bicycle that was given to him by one of the superstars, and he has equally auctioned the captain's band of Totti. You all know the legend. So all these auctions, at the end of the day, the Pope says whatever it comes out from will run together, they call it, that the money will be given to hospitals in Italy to fight coronavirus. Tony, the Pope.
The Pope has always been bringing hope, to the world, and I think this is another message that the Pope has given. There is hope coming from the Pope.
Okay, there is hope. Everybody is together in this war against coronavirus, and at the end of the day, we'll pray that it leaves our world. Let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll go to part 2 of the show, and I hope you enjoy sponsoring. All right, welcome to part 2 of the show, and we're talking about the way forward for Nigerian Professional Football League. Like we told you at the beginning of the show, some clubs have decided to say they want to float the private investors league. The clubs like Kada Stars, clubs like Remo Stars, MFM, and all that. And one man that we spoke to, he is equally a private club owner, is Gafar Liamid, the owner of 36 Lion. He shared his thought on us on the show. Let's hear from Gafar. Hello, Gafar.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. We'll continue our program as usual, as we've been doing for the past 20 years. Living Nigeria League is just a personal challenge that we have, and for sure, we will come back to the league. But we did not stop our program, and our boys are training every day. Majority of them still have their professional contract, and our program is basically the same. The only thing is we won't be playing the league for now, just to get one or two things sorted out with our situation in Lagos. Yes, we've embarked on a huge journey. We call it huge journey because we are a private club and we really get our support from what we get from our elbows. So we started a construction of a 32,000 square meter football vocational school, whereby we groom young boys to become professional footballers and a certified skilled personnel upon graduation. We will admit them, we will register them at the age of 14, and the age of 14 will have 4 categories: the U14, the U16, the U18, and then the elite. So we have 4 different levels, whereby boys will be training very hard every day. We have hostel for them there. We have vocational school for them there. The boys within the age of 14 and 16 will be going to a public school within the community. I will take them to school in the morning, bring them back in the afternoon, and then they'll play football. That is our 6 years plan from now, is to get Nigeria to the grand finale of the 2026 World Cup, and then after that, all things being equal, in another 10 years, build a proper stadium ourselves with a 25,000 capacity, So our job is just to make sure boys are playing ball and they're doing well and they have something to fall back after football. It's an interesting idea, but 36 Lion is not involved yet. And the reason is, I said to a few individuals that have been calling me that what type of license are we going to get from the NFF? Is it a recreational license or a professional league license? Or will the NFF itself give a license that will conflict with MPFL, NNL, and the nationwide? I don't think so. And I'm breaking away to form a private league because we are not getting our investment value. I don't think it's a good idea. And we must also know that FIFA allows only one professional league per country. So how it's gonna be done, I don't understand, And if you ask me, most of us, the private club owners, we are not fully professional yet. So do we now go from semi-professional to status of to become amateurs, But football is a huge business, and making maximum profit should be the end result. But who are the owner of the business? Who are the conductors? In Nigeria, it's NFF, and there are rules and regulations that we private club owners must follow. I don't want to say it won't work, but it's very dicey.
All right, thank you, Gafar Liamid, the owner, the proprietor of 36 Lion Football Club. He was part of the NNL. You heard from him there, and his club is no longer part of the NNL. Moving forward, Oluchi.
Well, George, I'm sure during your days you will be a good football marker. You'll be able to mark your opponents very well. But listening to what Haji Gafar has said, for me, whether the private league flies or not, it is inconsequential. I think it is a bold statement from this group of persons that have come out. It shows that there is something LMC is doing that they are disgruntled about. It shows that this is an opportunity for the LMC to look inwards and see what is wrong with what this group of persons are coming out together to say. We've always said it here in this studio that it is high time that the government starts withdrawing from ownership of clubs. You can't compare the merits of leaving sports and football in general in the hands of private individuals. You can't compare the gains. And if people are saying, of course, we also know that FIFA recognizes one professional league, and there will also be demerits if a thing like this flies, because these clubs will not be able to play.
They will be running a parallel league. They won't be able to play in the CAF organized competitions. Exactly. When you start listing all these things, but coming out as a body to even speak out shows that we are not happy. We are not getting returns for all the money we spend, in running this club. And come to look at it, this same problem was what led to the disbandment of Abiola Babes. I remember the late MK Abiola, so passionate, he decided to float a millionaires club and say, but at the end of the day, government will frustrate us. So Tony, Iwayawu National pulled out, Abiola pulled out, Leventis pulled out, and today we are still running round, turning like Baba Chair. What is the way forward, Tony?
Just the way forward, we've always been hearing about it, George. Very frankly, we've always been talking about the way forward. We've always been talking about going back to the drawing board. Always hearing about government will soon hands off. It's partaking in the sports and all those things. It has always been things that keep moving around in circles. And George, I must tell you that it's been moving around, motion without movement. It has always been like this since decades that we came into sports. We have always been seeing, hearing the same thing. And of course, George, it's irritating that at the time like this, we're still also hearing this. I think it's a bold step, like Oluchi mentioned earlier, that a group of individuals could, with their hearts burning, good desire for Nigeria and for Nigerians, for players and of course for the country, that they want to start a privately owned, league. And I think, George, is a very, very good step in a good direction. They are making very bold statement, and it is something that I think that Nigerians should listen to them, think about it, come together to talk about it. There is always, everything in life, George, is about competition. And we have seen in Nigeria, that it is only when there is competition, that things, thrive, things succeed. If you look at communication, for instance, George, I do know that you have a lot of brothers and sisters, who are overseas. And most times, any day you want to talk to them, George, you spend a day, going to Marina to go and queue.
In the days of Nitel,
George. And of course, that was just any day you want to talk to anybody outside Nigeria, that day or a day or two or three, depending, will go without you. Most times you stay there all through, and they will tell you there is no network.
And having cellular phone was even status
so, George,
symbol.
and of course, when this thing started, people just thought that it was going to be a myriad. And of course, before you know it, in the comfort of your home, anywhere you are, George, you can talk to anybody. That's what competition does. And of course, I remember when GSM came, George, to buy a handset was so much until they were admitting so many other people. Competition started. Here we are today, George. And of course, competition is still going.
So government should liberalize
the
football sector.
George, government should liberalize football. Government should, open up these things and of course remove itself. There's a lot for government to do. If you look at it, there's a lot of people who are frustrating, this move by private owned club owners, to go their own private way, because everybody want to get free things from government. And that's exactly why we've been running around in circles, George. Almost every money, George, where do I begin? You talk about the players that are being sold. You talk about competitions that Nigerians, even in club football, where Nigerians, Nigerian clubs win, and of course money is remitted to them. So much money in millions and in dollars. You begin to ask questions. What do they do with that money? Just that money somehow, goes around and of course trickles into the hands of one person to government and all those. And everybody depends. Since government is always bringing money monthly in terms of subvention, George, everybody will fold his hands. There will be no movement. There will be no progress. Nobody thinks about the welfare of the players.
So, Oluchi, what Tony said, that may be the reason why we can't get the league to get sponsors and all that, because the clubs that are participating in the league, the so-called professional football league, are all government parastatals.
Exactly. And when you look at what Tony has said so far, that when you talk about sharp practices, corruption, everything you want to think of that negates the progress of our league and our football. When you look at it, it will discourage all these private owners in trying to come and be part of what is happening. What happened to Glo? What happened to past sponsors? Look at our league of recent. Even the TV coverage that we had, they had to pull out, and nobody wants to come up and and say that as a private investor we spend millions of naira, we pay players salaries, you transport these players to league venues, you shoulder all these responsibilities without any subvention or support from anybody, and it's like a stiff competition with government owned clubs. And like Tony said, these have made all these clubs to be lackadaisical in nature. Nobody wants to do anything. That is, we have zero merchandising. You can't even bring out your jerseys for fans to buy. People will want to come and watch matches free without wanting to purchase tickets. And we are cool with it, because at the end of the day, this club knows that the governor or the government will always give them money to run these clubs. So for me, it kind of kills the spirit of independence from such clubs.
All right,
George. private partnership in sports. You just asked the question and saying, why is it that we have not seen a lot of private involvement? Why is it that we have not seen so many corporate bodies coming to invest in the league? If you are in the shoes of the corporate organization, George, will you invest in the league? Will you invest in some of those things? Because they are not doing the right thing. George, anybody who is talking about involvement, you must be credible. Credibility is one, accountability is one. Can we get this when government is involved? when we know that money from government is money for all. It's money for us to share. Every month we are sure that somehow government money, nobody retires a judge.
Oh, right.
In this part of Nigeria.
If you say so, well, the bottom line is this. My colleagues have said it all. Truth be told, this is the only country where government own football clubs and say they are professional clubs. Just only in Nigeria. Not even in our next door neighbor, Republic of Benin. Not even in Cameroon. Not in Ghana. Ashanti Kotoko.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes. Come to look at it. ASEC Mimosa is not government owned, and they are sponsored by Nissan. They don't sell more Nissan in Cote d'Ivoire than in Nigeria, for Christ's sake. Come to look at it, the Porcupines, Ashanti Kotoko, Accra House of Oak. No government owns them. They are all privately owned. So why let's now go to Europe, Barcelona, Man U and others. So why is it that it is only in Nigeria that government owned club? And every year we keep saying that there will be gradual handover. That gradual handover, we have started talking about that in the last 10 years and nothing is happening. And I think it is really time for us to do something about it. If not, our league will not grow. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. Don't go away. It is Sportsville.
Hi guys, I'm Ray Parler from Arsenal and England. Please watch Sportsville.
All right, welcome back. We're coasting home now, but we won't leave the studio without giving some text messages sent by fans from different parts of the country. And let's go straight to Benin City, Edo State, where they are talking more of politics. But while the Edo election is going on, fans are still sending their text messages. And this one is from Favor in Benin. He said, please, I think fans should be allowed into the stadium with some safety measures. From Benin, let's take you to Abuja, where Emmanuel sent this one. He said, I want to know about the UEFA Champions League, and since France government has stopped all football activities, what happens to the teams, that French teams that are still in part of UEFA Champions League? And specifically he talked about PSG. Well, what that means is that Emmanuel, PSG will not play at home, no doubt about that, because French government said there will be no sporting activities until sometime in September. And then from Abuja, let's take you to Niger State, where Jamilu from Lambata in Niger State, Jamilu said, it's good that we're giving another chance to Rua. There is a welcome development, but it is left for him to deliver. That's the show. We hope I've enjoyed Sportsville this week. We'll see you again next week. But before we leave the studio, let me say a big thank you to Baby of the House, Oluchito Banks.
Thank you so much, George. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Tony Ubane.
George, thank you so much. And I use this opportunity to pray for the soul of Reverend Father Joseph Neji, my classmate, way back in the seminary, who just died recently. May his soul and the souls of all the faithful departed rest in perfect peace.
Amen. On that painful note, we'll say thank you for watching Sportsville. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye and God bless.